All right. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, we are going to have a discussion. I'm going to explain my point of view and you know, my side from talking to Ninja 614 on Twitter a couple days ago. I wasn't going to do this video, and then I saw it brought up at a few different places. And honestly, guys, you guys know what Twitter is. Twitter is kind of a cesspool. The character limit leaves little to be desired for nuance and a discussion. And Ninja did a good job of explaining his point of view on his Twitch stream. And so I was like, okay, well, it only makes sense for, you know, me to bring forward my point of view and my side and why we had this discussion. So if you guys haven't seen it, it's on Twitter. I'm not deleting anything. You guys can feel free to go check it out. Before we dive into it, though, you guys, long subscribers of my channel, know that I don't normally do videos like this, and so I'm going to provide this disclaimer once. It really shouldn't have to be said, but this discussion is resolved as far as I'm concerned. It was never heated. From my point of view, it was two people disagreeing. It was a biker guy and a former army grunt. Like, we got thicker skin than that. It's not a big deal. This does not give anybody free reign to go and talk shit and be toxic. Like, let's all be better people. Let's just see that a discussion happened, take point, different sides and different points of views, and whether you agree or disagree, know that there's different avenues in this game, different opinions, and our experiences are formed off of those opinions. And so that's all that I wanted to kind of say beforehand. So yeah, let's dive into this discussion. So first of all, the beginning of this discussion starts with Rich Lambert. Rich Lambert posts on Twitter that he will not be streaming, and he will not be streaming tonight. He's got a lot of stuff going on. Now, don't know what that is, real life stuff, whatever. Hopefully everything's okay on your end, Rich. Like, seriously, everybody needs to just remember, yeah, I know people things are a little contentious right now, but people are people. And we have to remember in this stuff that there's another person on the other end. And yeah, hopefully everything's okay, Rich. But yeah, he posts a comment. He says, I hate to have to do this, but going to have to cancel the stream tonight, folks. Lots going on at the moment. And at the time when you're going to see the screenshot up, you see there's 48 comments. When I was looking at it, it was 36. And I was doing some numbers then. And yeah, there was a lot of comments on there. At first, there was some PvP comments. Some of them were kind of cheeky, pointed comments, basically like, you know, little PvP jabs. Nothing like super negative or toxic or anything like that. But they were there. And yeah, it was kind of missing the mark as far as the point of the original tweet goes. But, you know, whatever. And there was a lot of positive stuff. Like, so out of the 36 that I saw, it was like 4 or 5 pointed, cheeky remarks. A lot of positive remarks in the remaining ones and 1 toxic. And so it's like the overall ratio was 29 to 30 positive remarks, 4 or 5 whatever, like fixed PvP stuff, and 1 super toxic one. And in general, guys, that's a pretty good ratio. Now, I know this is my point of view, and my point of view is going to be different than most of you guys listening to this because I've got a YouTube channel. I have a following. I post a lot of videos. I have over 700 videos on my channel now. And although most of my videos, like most of my responses are positive, I'm not going to share with you guys my DMs with lusty Argonian maids or anything, but my private messages on Xbox are overwhelmingly positive. I can only think of like one person in the last couple of years that's been toxic. My channel in general across my community board and message sections is overwhelmingly positive. I'm a PvP content creator and most of my messages are positive. But due to the sheer amount of videos that I have, I get negative trolly comments every single day. And some of them are trolly and negative, and some of them are just so toxic, like just really dumb. And the thing is in this game, PvEers like to troll PvPers and vice versa. And that's the way it is. So if you like to do mostly trials and dungeons, you probably view PvPers as the most toxic people because they're probably talking shit to you. Probably. And it's vice versa. Most of my negative experiences in this game are from PvEers. It's from doing vet trials. Way more toxic from my experiences in that situation. Now, from my point of view, guys, is if you garner enough of a following, if you generate Like if you have enough people that follow you, it doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what good or bad you do, or like what good you do, how positive you are, what you promote. You're going to get negative feedback. You're going to get toxic individuals. You're going to just get stuff because it's a number game. It's a numbers game. Like the more people you attract into a following, the more chances you are of attracting negative individuals. And Rich Lambert is the creative director for ZeniMax Online Studios. And according to them, they have 19 million members in ESO.
Hello to all 19 million ESO players and everyone tuning in from around the world.
19 million. And so that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that basically, you know, a good chunk of them know who Rich Lambert is. And so when they find out that he's streaming, you're going to get some toxic stuff. You are. I get toxic stuff. Other content creators. Go check out Sawman. Sawman gets so much stuff. And he's just like, he just posts troll videos and yeah, like trolling back is fine. But like the toxic stuff, it's like, dude, really? Really? But my general reaction is I think that toxic individuals are to be ignored. Like when I see the toxic, shitty comments, I scroll past. I don't bother with it because at this point, all you're doing with responding is you're giving them what they want. And if you don't give them what they want, they move on. They go to someone else. And so it's not about with them. They're not doing anything thought provoking. They're not trying to inspire you or make you reconsider things. They're trying to be a dick to piss you off. And so you don't let them. And the other thing is like on my channel, I'm trying to help people out with builds. I'm trying to help people out with, you know, different skills and gear sets and stuff like that. And if I spend all this time wasting energy dealing with these people, I'm not applying it to the people that should. I'm not putting that time is then wasted on somebody shitty when it could be going to people that really need help in a game where they also enjoy something that I enjoy. And so I ignore them and I move on and whatever. And if people want to call them out, you know, we're all entitled to our own different opinions, but I have to have a filter for what I do. And so that's my typical base response. And so we're going to get into the comment here. It was bad. The guy goes, good, fix PvP, pussy. And you see out of all of them, like it was not good. It was not a good comment. I think we can all agree that this is just not something that you say. This is not something that's positive. For me, I ignore it, but if people want to call it out, that's fine. And other people did call it out. Pain in the Axe writes, not helpful for our goals of getting PvP content by posting shit like this. Another member of the PvP community responded and said the exact same thing that other people are saying, and he got 3 times the amount of likes as the original poster. On the Twitter app, we would call this a ratio, where more people liked Pain in the Axe's comment than the original shitty trolley comment. So from my opinion, when you read this and you see him responding to these other people and stuff where he's just trying to troll and whatnot, and you see this, it's settled. Everybody's dunking on this guy. Literally, like, this guy is a Washington General versus an entire Harlem Globetrotters team. He is Tweety Bird versus the Monstars before Michael Jordan shows up. And so it's just one of those things where, from my point of view, it's resolved. Like this person isn't to be acknowledged. He's not a voice in the community. One of the voices in the community that is in PvP did respond, and like everybody that responded in kind gave him negative feedback. Like, dude, this is stupid. This is stupid. Don't do this. And so that's fine. Like that's how I interpret it when I read the conversation. Now, Ninja comes in and he quote tweets and he says, "Hello, ESO fam. Every time a dev makes a comment, streams, does anything, there are these comments every time. And then the PvP community calls foul when they are banned, blocked, ignored. You want to sit at the grown-up table and have a constructive conversation? Then act like one." Now, I'm not upset. Like, I'm not upset at Ninja for calling this person out or anything like that, because this guy's an idiot. This guy is just an asshole. And from my point of view, he should be ignored. Ninja felt the need to call him out. But the problem with Ninja's statement here is he envelopes this guy into the entire PvP community. He says the PvP community, so as a general whole, we call foul if a guy like this is blocked, banned, or ignored, which is simply not true. The guy got ratioed on his own post. And so it's pretty clear that that is not the case. And so I saw this and I was like, it's kind of unfair to lump this criticism in. Now, typically from my point of view, for me to bring stuff up like this, I need more than one reference point before I say anything, because I want to know somebody's line of thought. And like, this could just be a general statement, right? This could just be, it's Twitter. There's character limit. You type something out, you get annoyed at something, you send it, and you just move on with your day, right? But I was shared this on a Twitch stream earlier in the day, and so this is from Ninja on another Twitch stream, and it says, the thing about the not all PvPers argument, though, is that there hasn't been up until now maybe a concerted effort by the leaders of the PvP community to shut that shit down and have social consequences for that kind of over-the-toxic behavior. Probably over-the-top toxic behavior, whatever. Which in turn undermines any credibility of the very valid arguments for changes to the game performances that they might have. Now, I disagree with this wholeheartedly. Like, the actions of a few, especially the ratioed few, does not outweigh very real performance and constructive issues. This is not a thing. And this is a ridiculous standard to hold to any community. If we take ZeniMax's word true that there's 19 million people that play ESO, that probably means there's 5 million plus PvPers. There's nobody, like, you can't stop people from being people, especially shitty people, and they're all over the place. And in the same vein, if you wanted to apply this standard, you want to say, sure, the actions of a few undermines any credibility that they have. Well, I know a certain YouTuber that's 90% of his videos is doing normal dungeons, and he refuses to heal people. He bitches about fake tanks. He gets mad in normal dungeons when he refuses to heal people, and then he doesn't die due to the mechanics because it's a normal dungeon.
Fucking croak. I'm dead. They ain't even gonna try. I won't either though. Yep, they saw me and they're like, oh, let them die. See, but look, the boss is heading to me. Of course. I didn't even throw a fucking heal and I'm getting aggro. And why am I not dead? Oh my fucking god, I should be dead! I should be dead!
That's it. The necromantic energies are exhausted. They should be free now.
Wretch, this is pathetic.
Kalorian, we've done as you asked.
This is why, God, fuck, I swear to God.
This is the type of toxic behavior that a PvEer and a YouTube content creator is doing. Now, I wouldn't for a second hold this standard to the entire PvE community because this guy's an outlier. This guy is an outlier in the PvE community, much like this other guy on Twitter is an outlier in the PvP community. Except this is the double standard that, in my opinion, that's being held, which, once again, that's why I disagreed, and that's why I had to comment on it. And yeah, it's just one of those standards that when you look at it, it just doesn't make any sense, right? Like when you think about it, if you want a seat at the table, all 7 million people playing PvP, which is not the real number, but we're just going to go off the 19 million, all 5 million plus people need to stay in line. And if one or two people act out and are toxic on Rich Lambert's stream or on Twitter, there's no way that you'll ever get any new stuff, and it just degrades any argument that you have. We can go back to the same YouTuber that posts very toxic titles and videos, and if you look at that, does that take away the PvE community's argument for having stuff? No, of course not. Absolutely not. And that's why I disagree, because this is a trope that's been going on for a very long time. Like, you don't matter. You hear all these different things. You don't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. You're a PvP. You have toxic people. You don't matter. And the point is you don't get nice stuff because some internet clown number 8,657 said something, when literally everybody gets everything. I could start literally quote tweeting on Twitter if people want of all the negative comments from PvEers that I get, and be like, hey, PvE community needs to step in and shut this shit down, or else you guys don't get Grothdar anymore. You guys don't get a new Grothdar or Zon, or, you know what I mean? That's just the point that I'm trying to make. So, this is just my point of view, of course. But yeah, I responded and I said, pretty bold to attribute one shitty troll's comment to the entire community. I would describe that as a pretty toxic generalization and not needed for discourse as well. Because, yeah, the actions of a few minor people on either area don't outweigh credible complaints. They just don't. And so I did a video on this about a month ago. If you guys are followers of my channel, you know that I did a video titled Arguing Futility, an ESO trademark. And if you can read the little thumbnail there, the gist of the video is that we spend too much time arguing with each other, PvEers and PvPers alike. And we should really be pointing our criticism towards the people that can do stuff, which is the developers. And I say this, we need to do it constructively, of course. Like, people like that shouldn't have a seat at the table, as it were. But that doesn't mean that PvP opinions don't matter and vice versa. And so we need to stop tripping each other up as players. We need to stop going out there and having debates with people just because we had a negative experience once and then applying a generalization to a bunch of people. Now, the one thing I did get annoyed with Ninja in our discussion, and once again, it's Twitter and it is what it is, but, you know, he made a comment and, you know, he did the "not all PvPers" quote to me, which, you know, for those of you guys that don't know, he's probably alluding to the Me Too movement, which is a very groundbreaking and like historic moment in women's history, where women are, the entire point is to acknowledge and respect women and hear them out and hear their side and hear their story. And trying to apply that in a discussion where two dudes are talking about a video game, where he says in his tweet PvP community, which is enveloping everybody in the community, it's just not applicable, you know? I don't know if he did it for like Twitter points, you know, people want to see it and they want to see it as like a slam dunk or whatever, but it's just in poor taste, in my opinion. It's just in poor taste to do those sorts of things, to degrade like something that's so important and try and compare it to this, which honestly, like, I'm not the only one that thought that. I'm not the only one that thought that he was applying this to the entire PvP community. If you go and you look, Pain in the Axe and Ness both said, like, these guys aren't indicative of the PvP community. If you read further down after that guy's comment, he would see that guy got ratioed. And if he reads his own comments, he would see that other people that follow him are saying some of the similar stuff. This is why I do not take the PvP community seriously. Once again, applying a broad brush of one outlier to an entire community, which is, you know, just not productive, and it's wrong. So that's my point of view, is this. And now the point that he got upset about is, why am I not calling this person out? Well, he got called out. I thought this was just one of the, I made an assumption here that most people, reasonable people, would agree that this guy's out of line. And I even said as such in a following tweet, and like, he tried to say that I wasn't saying that and I was quasi defending him, which once again is just detracting from the overall discussion. You know, if you want to have a debate about why I said what I said, we can talk about it instead of trying to like put words in my mouth. But the point the point that I'm trying to make is like I said, when I looked at it, I saw it as a layup. Like, everybody agrees. Everybody, PvPers, PvEers, it doesn't matter. No, normal human beings would see what he writes and they would go, yeah, whatever. Like, this guy is an ass clown. I don't know who he is. I don't know what platform he's on. I don't know who he is as a person. I don't, off that tweet, it's kind of a dick, but whatever. But I do know who Ninja is, and I've been following Ninja for a while. I like his content in general, and Ninja has a voice in the community. He can speak positively, and he can promote positive changes and stuff like this. And intentional or unintentional, I don't know what the goal was. He retracted his statement later, so therefore I'm going to assume that it was unintentional. We're gonna go from there. I'm gonna assume that it was unintentional, that he just was, you know, a little annoyed with this comment, and he was annoyed at this other person's comment, and he quote tweeted it and wanted to call it out and bury this guy and not have this stuff happen anymore. And he gets annoyed when somebody comes up and is like, hey dude, like, let's talk about your words. But the point is the words do matter. The words really do matter, especially when you have people in your community applying that, because they're going to look at it, and it's Twitter. You don't know exactly what they mean. And I'm not the first person that said it or whatever. And oftentimes, like you see in videos when I make discussions or when I talk about things, I really have to start a video from a point to where I have to explain what I'm not talking about. And sometimes people are like, I can't believe you have to do all these qualifiers and everything. And the point is you guys don't see me. You don't see my face. You don't see my reactions. And so oftentimes stuff gets misconstrued. And I have found that it's easier to be very more upfront with stuff that I'm not saying and what I'm trying to say, and make my points more clear and concise, so that I spend less time arguing about things that I didn't do. And so if his tweet was out there and he's like, hey, asshole comments like this, if you're part of the PvP community, will not help you. Like, this will not help the PvP community. If you're looking for changes, then you should not be doing these things. It's not good, because Rich is a person. He shouldn't be treated this way, whatever. Everybody's in agreement. Like, everybody's in agreement except for the select few that liked that guy's tweet and the guy that tweeted it himself. And so that's overall my point of view on the entire situation. Now, I don't hold any ill will or anything like that. Like I said, I mean, I've been following Ninja for almost a year now, like almost a year. I wouldn't be following him if I didn't like his content, or if I didn't like, you know, his overall message and, you know, the stuff that he tries to do. And so that's not what this is. This is just a video of me explaining my point of view at the time and why I said what I said, because intentional or unintentional, this divisive things of saying PvE or PvP community needs to stop. We're not going to accomplish what we can if out of the game that we enjoy, if we're constantly infighting about this stuff, if we're constantly dividing the community. Like, every time somebody wants to bring forward a change and they get diverted because people want to like do this on both the PvE and PvP side, because you see it happen a lot on the forums. You see it happen a lot on different channels. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, and it needs to stop. And so that's why I said it. I said it because, yeah, it does detract from his original statement. But the point is he has a bigger influence than random ass clown number 8,657, who everybody disagreed with anyways. People don't, in general, disagree with Ninja. Ninja is one of the biggest PvE content creators in ESO. He's one of the most likable. And so I say this having this discussion, knowing that a lot of people aren't going to make it this far in this video. I know people are going to listen to this, and, you know, they're big fans of Ninja, and they're big fans of what he does. And I'm going to get some negative comments below, and I totally get that. But if you watch this whole video, I'm just explaining what happened in the conversation. I'm just explaining my side, and I even tried to explain some of his side, where he was coming from. Like, this is what you do when you have discussions. It's not about he's crying about this or whatever. It's two people having a discussion about something that matters, and it does matter. If you're doing content creation for the Elder Scrolls Online, you want a better community. And Ninja posted a tweet trying to make the community better. I posted a tweet in response to him, basically saying, like, this can be worded better. Like this is a generalization that isn't going to help you with your goal. And so, yeah, that's the end of this video. That's the short and sweet of it. If you guys want to go and read it, I mean, I wouldn't go read it personally, because I was there. It just happens. Like, you get through so many tweets before you realize what the other person's trying to say, and you're like, oh, my bad. And the moral of the story of this is, you don't just argue. You just don't argue on Twitter. You don't have a discussion on Twitter. It's just not conducive to that type of thing. Twitter is for posting memes and blocking trolls and finding content you enjoy and updates, like news updates. And so that's what it should be used for. And so in the future, Maybe I won't do these, and maybe I'll just ask the person that I disagree with to do a podcast, and we can talk about our different points of view and have a conversation. So if you guys made it this far, like I said, I like Ninja. If I met Ninja in person, I would buy him a beer. I think he drinks beer on his channel. It looks like it. Maybe it's like a dark coffee or something. I'm pretty certain it's beer. But yeah, I'd buy him a beer. And I don't think he has any ill will towards me or anything like that. It's just shit happens. I said some things, and obviously, like semantics, I would have gone back and rewritten a couple things, and I feel like he probably would have done the same. I can't speak for him or anything. I'm just kind of spitballing here. So yeah, that's gonna be this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, please provide in the section below, and I'll do my best to answer it. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.